Dr. Desperan, I don't know if you can see us or not, but here,
I can see you.
okay, you can see us. Okay, that's great. So here, the Honorable Rector for NUCES will sign the document. So I think you can do the signatures on your side virtually and show us the paper once you're done. So, yeah.
Yes, I have a paper here
yeah,
as well.
And then we can afford to change the document. Yeah, thank you so much.
Jasper, full screen if possible.
Dr. Jasper, we wanted to travel to Linus University some time ago, but somehow unfortunate issues of the visa came about. Otherwise, I wish that I could have signed over there in your university. But it's okay, we are signing it now, inshallah. Okay?
You have a standing invitation, you know, as soon as the visa issues are sorted, you are so welcome to Sweden and Linnaeus University. So now we sign.
So maybe there will be some pictures just for your information.
Have a nice day now, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Dr. Jasper. Thanks for the collaboration.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Jasper. So hope to see you next week. So if you have something to say, otherwise, yeah, goodbye for now and see you next week.
Goodbye. Take care now.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, and good evening. So we are already 1 hour later from the schedule, but I hope we'll stay in the time limit and everyone finishes on time. So first we have 2 talks, and then we have 4 paper presentations. So let's begin with the very first talk by Dr. Demur from University of Greenwich, UK. So please, Professor.
Full screen here. Can you make it full screen, yeah? Full screen. All right, okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm Taimur Khan, currently serving as an associate professor of cybersecurity at the University of Greenwich. I hope I'm audible everywhere, right? Yes. All right. So, I lead the cyber assurance lab. I will let you know more about that in the coming slides, about the scientific activities. Here is my web page, which is publicly open. Every tool I have developed so far, until or unless it was classified, it is available. Some were classified, which I developed together with NASA and NSF. But mainly the tools are there, so whatever I will be talking today here, most of the tools are accessible already on my website. Just one remark before I start the presentation. There was a very exciting talk by Ashik Bhai just before the lunch break. But what now you will see is exactly the complementary of what he was talking. So you will get a chance to actually see the background reality of whatever he was talking. I will show you in a while. So nowadays, modern computing systems, which are typically called cyber-physical systems, they involve different things, fundamentally different domains. For example, it involves the computation, physics, chemistry, biology, and everything. While he was talking about the physics, he was talking about the biology from the medical point of view. But at the same time, it also has algorithms, it has control theory in it, it has many more subjects. At the same time, these computing systems require some interdisciplinary skills, for example, economics, energy, medicine, and more importantly, law. Because nowadays, there are many laws where you need to abide. You cannot just run a software by telling, yes, it is running. You need to make sure that your software actually complies with certain standards. So at the same time, once we develop these systems, there are key vulnerabilities in the system. It's very, I would say, very challenging to develop a system which is free of errors, right? Or free of vulnerabilities, let's say. So all of the key cybersecurity threats which have happened any time in the history, their main cause was a simple software vulnerability. I'm sure everyone understands the vulnerability, but at the moment, just to give you some statistics, just vulnerable software has costed more than $2.41 trillion to the US in last year. That's a huge cost, yeah? And more importantly, it's predicted that by 2025, there will be at least more than 50 billions of the cost affecting the casualties due to the accidents happening in the IT system. Because now we are working very close to the physical world, yeah? I'm not sure if you are following the international IT developments, but just 2 years ago there was an accident in Germany where one of the guy who was a mechanic was fixing some BMW car and the robot slapped him because he couldn't control. Yeah, robot thought something different and he just slapped the guy, and the guy was, luckily he survived, but at least he was seriously injured. And at the same time, it is not just the cost what will be happening due to the casualties, but it will require further multi-trillion dollars to fix the vulnerabilities due to which these casualties have happened. So it's really very highly economical part. If you can ignore it, obviously, so you can build something and you say, oh yeah, we have developed great things. I'm sure everyone here in this room have developed something in their life, right? Probably very big system, but I will show you that things are very complicated and very tricky, but you really need to make sure that your software is actually correct. It's very hard. Can you please just click on this example? Yeah. Oh, we have the browser. Yeah, over there. Right. So I'm not sure if everyone can see that though, but it's, if you just look at the very first few lines, this is a simple method which every one of you probably know. It's just adding two numbers, right? Every one of you know because probably you have learned during your very first class in the term of your very first year, right? And this is just adding two numbers, right? And everyone believes that that's correct, right? That's the simplest implementation of just adding two numbers, right? I hope everyone believes that's okay, right? But believe me, it's very tricky. So can you please just execute now, and you will see the result. So when you just run this same system with different inputs, you can see 5 plus 10 is 15, 20 plus 13 is 33. But when we have added different values, the result value. How come on earth is possible that you add two positive numbers and you have a result in negative numbers? And Java didn't complain. You see, Java compiler is running. Java didn't say, oh, there was something wrong. And you cannot detect these kind of errors because they are coming from the software vulnerabilities. The languages which were developed, they are vulnerable, they have these weaknesses, and that's why it's hard to catch. And by the way, just to give you one example, this is not a simple error. The same error costed at least multi-dozen million euros back in 2004 because one of the space shuttle, whose name was Ariane 5, that was destroyed due to this integer overflow, and that was its maiden flight. Just within first few seconds of its flight, multi-billion euros were wasted, just because of this error. So it's really tricky. I just wanted to give you an idea that yes, you can claim, we can see people talking here, yeah, we have developed these big systems, yeah, we trust it. But believe me, building a system which is indeed trustworthy is almost near to extremely challenging. I would not use the word impossible because that's not something that characterizes human, but can we go back to the slides? Yeah. So now, what are the security challenges? And here you will see very interesting story. Current approaches can detect something, but unfortunately, they can only detect what they have already seen. They cannot detect anything new. Yeah. And more importantly, even if they can detect, you have seen these AI systems around, yeah? Previously talks, there were talks. But unfortunately, you will not have any diagnostic resolution, which means you will have no idea what has actually gone wrong. Yeah? And that is one of the requirements of the system when we are working with the CPS. More importantly, it suffers from high rate of false alarm. Most of the time you will be getting the answer whether either it is no fault and you are alarmed, or you have alarmed and actually it is not a fault. Yeah? Similarly, there are the systems running from ages. Yeah, I mean, think about Babda in Pakistan, for example, or any other system. They have these grid stations built probably several decades ago. They are running the system which are very old. They cannot replace it over the night. You cannot tell them, oh, there is a vulnerability in the system, I want to fix it. They can't do it not only because of the software update, but also because of the hardware. Yeah? So it's very, very challenging. You don't need to replace the system, but still you need to fix it. Yeah? More importantly, there are evolving requirements, standards, directives. Nowadays, everything is coming. I mean, every other day we see a new directive, online safety, online harness. But they are typically introduced after the deployment, so it's very hard to catch them before we actually deploy the system. So you need to have a system which can be fixed after its deployment. Yeah, that's another challenge. More importantly, you have to make sure that system operations work without actually running the system. This is very tricky. You cannot develop a system for the Airbus or NASA Space Center and you tell them, I have developed the software, can you please go and test it, run it? No, you can't say. Why? Because this is only one chance. They are going to run it only once. You need to make sure that the system works without actually running it. Yeah? And I had my master's thesis with NASA, so actually that was actually about these satellites communication, exactly addressing this problem in the solution which I will show you later. More importantly, even if there is an attack, the still system needs to operate. So think about a nuclear power plant where actually different processes are running. Even if one is damaged, you cannot stop the system. Because if the system is stopped, radioactivity is going to be exploded and we will have a huge damage. The system should continue operation even if it is under attack. Yeah? And that's very difficult again to make sure that it works. Obviously, the system needs to be explainable and self-aware because only that's the opportunity that you can fix the problems online. You really need a rigorous design because any component can fail. Yeah, we have seen the accident recently. I mean, a few years ago in Pakistan, there was a flight accident where a couple of engines were failed and he couldn't survive because of the remaining ones. Yeah, so the system needs to be developed in a way that it can still survive. Yeah, more importantly, system should never fail. It should only fail safe. And that is, by the way, I don't know the laws in Pakistan because I know our PAA, the civil aviation work differently. But typically in every country they have the laws which make sure that your system operates under strict this condition. Until or unless there is a mechanical fault, you cannot fail. Yeah? And more importantly, since we are talking about the critical domain, the system shouldn't only detect the incidents, but should also fix them automatically. Why? Because human cannot go to the nuclear power plant to fix the system. Why? Because it's a life danger. So system should automatically detect and should automatically recover. Yeah? So, following the same principle, we have this vision where we believe that the system security is equally important as the actual system requirements are. So you need to consider the soft security of the system right from the beginning. You cannot just say, oh, I have developed the system, now it works, please test it and we are done. No. You need to make sure that it also works under certain security threats. Yeah? Obviously, we cannot guarantee every other threat, but at least it should work under the threat. And here is our vision. We follow the NIST strategy, NIST from US. Just build it right first, and then make sure that you continuously monitor it. You should make sure that it works as expected. Our approach has three main components. We want to make sure that the system is already protected and compliant by design. So we can already detect some problems by design. I'll show you the examples and then you will see exactly how do we handle this issues at the design time. But even if you have developed a great system, when it operates in a fragile environment, it still cannot be guaranteed. So, because when it is deployed in real time, there are the people who are attacking, yeah, with bad intention. We want to make sure that the system operation is again indeed very protected. Yeah. At the same time, since at one time it is interacting with different sensors, different objects, we need to make sure that the data also is secure. And this is, I will show you one example in the later slide that how critically important it is, because data can lead you the results which could have very bad consequences. Yeah? And at that we guarantee that any protection, any recovery action or any detection which we detect, that is actually certified in a mechanized way. In a mechanized way, I mean that it is not only understandable by the human, but it is also equally understandable by the machine. Yeah. So here we precisely mean that it can be verified based on the rigorous approaches, and at the same time it can be explained with the help of mathematical reasoning, exactly those parts of the talk where Ashik was talking of the mathematical models and mathematical reasoning. Yeah. So our technique is actually based on that. I will show you exactly these three components of my approach very quickly. So first, design time security. We start with the high-level requirements. You want to build a system and you start thinking about it. What is the system which I want to build, right? You encode in a computer program with the help of abstract data types. Now I'm talking very technical, very specific. I'm sorry about that. So the abstract data types have this expressive power where you cannot only axiomatized the type of the data, but you can also axiomatized certain constraints over the data, the computations it will be carrying. So we start with a set of behaviors because we start with high level specification. We keep on adding more and more information, like we know, right? We start the system, with the passage of time, we know more things about the system. Keep on adding them, but in each refinement, each addition, make sure that the soundness is preserved, which means that whatever I'm adding as a new knowledge, that does not contradict what I have previously said. Because if it is a contradiction, then immediately I am doing something wrong. Either my previous statement was wrong, or my current statement is wrong. Yeah? So we immediately need to resolve it. And at the end of the iterations, we come across a single program where actually we have simple program written in a very specific language which is executable. Yeah. So these refinement steps are sound. I will not go into the technical detail, but there are the ways where, mathematical ways where we guarantee that each refinement step is indeed respecting the previous knowledge which was added for the specification. And we use the technique which is called program synthesis. I will not go again into the very technical ideas, but the goal is to use the specifications and then keep on refining them until we reach to the actual product which is implemented in one specific language. Yeah? And for this we have used the tool Coq. Coq is actually a French tool, and I'm not sure if you know, but Coq is actually a rooster in French. Yeah? So it's actually a logical platform which actually allows you to develop these kind of specifications and generate the proofs for that. So these are the mathematical proofs, by the way. Can you move? Sorry. Yeah, so here is a very simple example. As you can see in the picture, there is a water tank on the left side. So this water tank actually has a pump where you can fill in the water, and then there is a valve at the bottom right where you can pump out the water. So now on the right side, what you see is actually a program which is not Java but like Java. So we have made it simpler for the readability purposes. But as you can see, for example, that whatever the reading it gets for the current height of the tank, current height of the water in the tank, it tells me either I should accept it or I should reject it. So I need to find a way to actually accept or reject the new readings which actually determine the current height of the tank. So now once we keep on refining, eventually we come to a program which is actually a single program, as you can see, and this is now a Java program. This is executable, simple Java program, but which respects now the specification which I have already provided. So this is already a program which is guaranteed to have no problem by design. Yeah? And now I will show you the example that how it works. Can you please just click on the example? Example. No, example. 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 Very specific, yes. That one. So this is, I'm just showing you one of the tools which was actually co-developed by me when I was at India during my PhD. So this tool allows you to write not only the software itself, but also its contract. And this contract is actually the specification that what kind of specific requirements does it follow. As you can see here in the clause, requires clause, ensures, and different things. I'm not going into the technical detail, but just to give you an idea, we are following the Turing test, right? I'm not sure if you follow the theoretical computer science, but the first thing I need to guarantee is, does this program terminate for any possible input? Independent of the input, because input can be stupid, input can be legal, input can be anything. Is it really guaranteed that for any possible input, the program will terminate? That's the first thing which we need to prove. Because if it will not terminate sometime, I'm always in a wait state. Yeah, I can collapse. So we need to make sure. And then the second guarantee we achieve here is that when the program terminates, it always gets the right result. That is the second guarantee which we produce. Yeah. So for example, this simply divides the two numbers. And can you please run it? Yeah. So when you run it, we have divided 1000 by 42. As you can see, it gives us the result 23. Obviously, that's not the remainder. So now when we go to make sure that, okay, we need to now verify. This is execution, but we want to make sure that the program will always terminate and program will always give me the result which I am expecting. Yeah. So now, can we please, run it? Right click the Y, ECs, and 5000, the last one. Yeah. So as you can see, these guarantees on the right side, which have become now green, these are the mathematical guarantees which Ashik was referring in his talk. We have already developed this system which can guarantee you, because mathematics is a guarantee, right? Mathematics theorem is a guarantee. You have 2 plus 2, 4. Take it anywhere in the world, everyone will guarantee it, right? That's correct. So the same guarantees we have here, that the program terminates, and whenever it terminates, it gives the correct result. And this is exactly needed by NASA, this is exactly needed by the nuclear power plant. They don't want to run the system. They want to make sure, without actually running the system, that it works. You have seen it, I didn't run it anywhere. I've just made sure that in browser I can guarantee that it works. And within seconds, right? At the back end, it's all mathematics. I will not go into those theorem proving techniques which work at the back end. But now if you click on the, lower one, down. Loop invariant preservation, the third one. Yeah, yes, that one. So this is the guarantee which actually makes sure that in each iteration, the loop is progressing towards termination. Now this guarantee involves this piece of code, as you can see, which is highlighted. And now I want to show you that mathematical guarantee. Now go to the task view. Here is the back-end mathematics which is generated. So this is the mathematical theorem at the back end, which is actually proved by the back-end theorem proving assistant to guarantee that yes, this program, in every iteration, the while loop progresses towards termination, which eventually makes sure that at the end of the time, it will determinate. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you want aeroplane to be landed on the right. So that's exactly what I wanted to show you. That we have already developed this system which can answer the question, obviously, up to a specific level, which was addressed by Ashik during his talk. So, yeah. Now, the second component, even we have developed this system which is very great, we have mathematical guarantees, yes, that's great, but still, when we run the system in the real life, over there people are compromised. Think about it, I have developed a great car which actually works very fine. Still somebody can overspeed it and can have an accident. That's fine, right? And even more critical one is that there could be an aeroplane guy, but imagine that you are flying, sorry, I take my word back, someone is flying and in the 33,000 height, the pilot decides to kill himself. Obviously, he's not killing himself. He is killing everyone on board, right? So we shouldn't allow him to kill himself at that point in time. That's why even that is a legal move, that he can take the aeroplane down even from this height. This system doesn't allow him to do that. And that's exactly one of our key achievements, because our systems are used by the Thales company. I'm not sure if some of you are familiar. Thales is a company which is a global company. It's a French company actually, which provides the security to the aeroplanes. So we made sure that even at that point, your pilot wants to destroy himself, it shouldn't happen. Yeah? So we want to make sure that system execution is also protected, because now anybody can misuse the software, right? Anybody can misuse the system. And here is the system. Again, I will not go into the very long technical details, but essentially, we have the implementation and we have the expected behavior in the form of logical formulas, not in the models, but the logical formulas which are guaranteed to be truthful. And at the runtime, when we get the data, we compare it. As soon as we find the violation, we know something has happened wrong, and based on this logical formula, we precisely know what has actually gone wrong. So we can then indeed fix it. Yeah? So the system which we have developed is actually, originally I developed it in Lisp when I was a postdoc at MIT. But since Lisp is very expensive, it has now I think $86,000 license. So I decided to develop it in open source so that everyone can use it. So in my recent project grant, I have developed it in Java so that it's free for everyone. And you can find the tool on my left hand by here. So the system does not only detect the known attacks, but it also detects the unknown attacks. So it's so powerful that it can detect the unknown attacks in the system, and more importantly, it does not only detect it, but it can explain them, what has actually happened, and then can automatically recover it. Yeah? So the system is very powerful in its essence, and obviously it can adapt to anything because you can always change the specification, you can add new directives, new regulations, and it will make sure that it works. Yeah? So here is just one technical glimpse of the SOAR system armament. We have a specification language which actually has a basis in monadic logic and at the same time event calculus, because different events are happening, and based on that we need to decide what are the possible projections. Actually it is based on first order logic. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the logic part, but this is one of the strongest logic. Obviously undecidable, but in software it becomes decidable, plus self-theory. We can describe different modules, their connections, their dependencies, their information flow, their control flow, and then we can obviously diagnose when something is wrong based on this model, and then we can automatically find the alternative resources, data and libraries to make sure that the system continues operation even if it is under attack. Yes? So here is an example. So this is your test, by the way. So just look at this right side example where we have a water tank, and there is an eye on the right side, on the left side of the tank. There is a pump in, and then there is a bad guy sitting on top who is actually reading the value, current value of the water in the tank, right? Now, is there any way that I can make a system that even my attacker has physically present in the tank, he still cannot measure the current volume of the water in the tank precisely? That's the question. We want to make sure that even I am physically under attack, the attacker still does not know my current state exactly so that he cannot compromise me. That's something smart to think. Yeah, but I will not bother you more. I can answer it already. So you see this drain at the bottom of the tank. So this is actually a very smart way. We have designed it in a way, and this system is, by the way, running in France. Yeah. So we have designed it in a way that some water is always draining out. So now even if this guy can tell you that, oh yeah, this is the height, he cannot measure the exact volume of the water in the tank because something is constantly draining at the bottom of it, which he doesn't know. Only we know, and we can precisely calculate the current volume of the water and can immediately detect if someone was trying to compromise. Yeah? So this is the digital twin, by the way, which Ashik was referring to. Digital twin for us, it is a model. The digital twin is that we have here the same specified plant as you can see in the bottom. And now here is the control system where the commands are coming in to fill in the water, to empty the water and everything. And we are comparing the both sides and eventually deciding whether there is an attack or not. And whenever there is an attack, we immediately detect it. There is no way to escape that. We are very guaranteed. Yeah? So, can we run the orbit movie? So, yeah, that's one. So I have recorded the simulation because of the licensing purposes. I cannot run the list now because I don't have the license. So as you can see the simulation, on the right side, you will see here the simulation of the water tank filling in and immediately detected when it overflows the height or it goes beyond what it was expected to be filled in. Yeah? So currently we are running simple program, just the normal flow, and you will see that it will overflow. Nobody can stop it because there is no monitoring control. Yeah? See now, going up, up, and it has overflown now. Nobody could detect it because our protection system was not enabled, right? So now we have protected our system. We have enabled our protection system, RMIT, and now you will see immediately it is detected. As soon as it went above the expected height, it was immediately detected. Yeah? System was suspended and then it continued in the operation. So that's it. We can stop the movie and we can proceed back to the
Okay, so you have to wind the pin.
right. So these are the just results, just to give you an idea that it is tunable. Depending on the situation of the security, when it is high alert, you need to monitor everything. When typically it's a relaxed environment that you can just monitor few of the things and you can still believe that it is safe. Yeah, I mean like what we do in real life, based on the common sense. So still we manage to detect everything in less than a millisecond. Just to make sure that the system works in real life, we do not create any overhead. Yeah? So last but not the least, third element is we have made the system great by design. We are now protecting it at runtime, checking everything. But now there is a trick. And this is exactly going back to the question which Ashik raised. We have answered luckily to his question. The question is, you can have system data which actually abides your law, which is legal according to your rules, but that is false because that is not the real data. That is not predicting the current situation. Yeah? Think about the following sense. You have actually a air conditioner in the room, right? Which actually has a temperature from 16 to 25. So now if it is running for 4 or 5 hours, obviously we are expecting to have a reduced temperature. If after 4 hours it still tells me the temperature is 25, I'm not going to believe it. But the system will believe it. Why? Because I know that the temperature ranges from 16 to 25. As long as it is between 16 and 25, I don't mind. But actually the temperature given to me, 25, after 4 hours of running the air conditioner, that's wrong. That something is wrong. We immediately detect that, yeah? So we really ask this question, that we make sure that your system works on always correct data. The data could be abiding the laws, but still the data will not be legal. Yeah? So here we have, again just to give you an idea of revisiting the system before I dive into the actual technical detail. Imagine that there are different sensors. Yeah? 3 sensors which are actually calculating the height, giving me the height. If one of the sensors give me a wrong reading, I can immediately detect it. Right? Why? Because I know that the 2 are correct. Right? If the 2 sensors still are compromised, I can still kind of detect it based on some facts that, okay, yeah, this one is making more sense, this third one is more closer to what I was expecting, so I can ignore the other 2. But what if all the 3 are compromised? All the 3 are giving me the wrong data. And again, this is something very tricky, by the way. This is not something which you should just ignore it. In 2004, there was an accident of Air France, where all the 400 people on the plane were crashed. They went to the death because of this stupid mistake. Actually, some guy who was actually washing the aeroplane, he put the tape on the sensor. So every sensor couldn't reply to the current height of the aeroplane. So pilot was flying on the sea at night. System was telling him that you are too high. Since he couldn't see down, he started getting down just to maintain that height. When he came down, he came to a point where gravity just pulled him down in the sea and everyone on board was killed. So this was exactly this sensor fault. The system couldn't detect it, but we can detect it. And that's exactly the second component which we have given to the Thales to make sure to detect and avoid these kind of incidents. I mean, there is a human error everywhere, yeah? So, technically, this is too much technical, I will not go into the detail, but simply I can tell you that there are the procedures, delta decision procedures, which we have developed. And by the way, this is the work which we have developed with one of the guy from CMU, US. He is actually a Nobel laureate in computer science. I mean, we know Alan Turing awarded the Nobel Prize in computer science. So we developed with him. Unfortunately, he died during COVID. So we developed this method where we can detect actually these values which are legal, but they are false. And these delta decision procedures are very strong nowadays. They implement some kind of non-linear solution. In SMT solvers, again, SMT solvers is the satisfiability modular theory solvers, which are at the back end mathematics. Everything is mathematics. Mathematical reasoning, mathematical logic, the discrete mathematics which you have learned about. Yeah. So here is one example, just to give you a quick idea how does it work. Imagine that the height of the water tank at time t plus 1 is equal to the height of the tank at time t plus the current flowing in water minus the flowing out water. Yeah, that's the current height. That's how we determine it, right? So now, if the current height is 5 and it is bound to have no outflow, the height at new time should be 5.5. Yeah, obviously, because according to the equation it is simple, right? But now imagine these three scenarios. In the first case, imagine that I get the values where the sensor tells me that the current height is 8, he is cheating, and I get the height 5. Obviously, I can immediately detect it because it doesn't satisfy the equation. 8 is not equal to 5.5, everyone knows, right? So immediately we detect it. Now something goes wrong, and still this guy gives me value 5 plus 1. I still can detect it because they don't abide the law, right? But then there is another stupid value. He tells me that the current height is 6, and he tells me that the outflow, actually the water tank is closed, but he is telling me that the water is flowing out, it's at the rate 1, and the current height previous was 5, and now these values satisfy the equation. As you can see, yeah, 6 is equal to 5 plus 1 minus 0. This now satisfies the equation. But now, how we can detect it? It's impossible otherwise. Why? Because it satisfies the rule. Your system, like the one mentioned by Ashik, you have a physics laws, and now your data abide the physics law, you will say, yeah, that's all thing, everything is happening good. No, that's not true. Now the data is falsified, someone has compromised it, and now we give this to this system. Here is just a snapshot of the actual system running, and now here is the result. It tells me, yes, indeed it was detected. Here is the error, and these are the values which were compromised. I could precisely detect that there was a compromise and these values were not. Yeah? So, now probably the last slide, just to give you an idea. We didn't only implemented the system, but we actually have managed to solve the real world problem. Real world problem means we have already protected the water management system in France. We have detected a very strong vulnerability in the power grids of the United States. And I can explain that what was the vulnerability. So in US there is a law that every state can produce the energy and they can sell it to the government. Now the rule says that the energy produced in one state should be sold to the government of that state. Yeah? But since the guys in some states power is expensive, people got an access to the lines and they start selling the energy on the different lines to the different states. They couldn't detect it because inflow and outflow is equal, so it is abiding the physics laws of the power. But it was a vulnerability because overall flow was coming from somewhere else and it was going somewhere out. So we immediately detected that, and obviously that was a change in the law then, that how to make sure and how to recommend it. So we have also detected in e-commerce system, and this was Amazon, by the way. I don't want to go into now detail, but you can read the paper. We have successfully detected 246 errors in Apache's all big name projects. Probably you have seen, there was a slide shown by the previous speaker where the Kafka was used. We have detected the vulnerability. So I can tell you precisely that there is an erroneous software. There's not working properly. I can bet and I can hack. I can kill it, right? So we have detected in all these Apache projects, Apache Kafka, Azure and all these. And we didn't only detect these errors, but we have also managed to automatically fix it. Yeah? So More importantly, we have also used these methods to certify some benchmarks which systems should abide. For example, in the power grid, they have actually certain standards, certain benchmarks which they need to certify. So we have really certified different standards. We have also made sure that the security provided by the Airbus, by the charges to the Airbus, they are also guaranteed. And more importantly, we have now also supported the recent initiative. This was probably related to the IEEE guy who we had in the morning. There is a community, IEEE Smart and Circular Cities. So we have contributed to them that how they can guarantee that automotive vehicle which is running on the road will not kill people by any bad mistake. So it will only kill the people in the automotive vehicle when really there is an accident situation. It will not kill because of the stupid error in the software. Yeah? So these are just example case studies, but these are the real problems which we have managed. There are some others where we have also guaranteed. For example, the one with the NASA, there was a specific component of the space shuttle, and more importantly, their satellite communication was guaranteed. So the current European agency, which actually needs to follow the NASA route, run the communication protocol for their satellites, was actually verified by ICIT. So these are just some example projects. And now just to give you an idea that all these works led to a very giant project which is called Deep Spec. This project actually uses some of our components, and it has now finished because it started in 2016 and finished in 2021.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we are actually finishing time.
All right, yeah, that's the second last slide, sorry. So this is the system which they have developed based on that, and as you can see, all the big names are there. I was a postdoc at that time at MIT, so I was initially part of the proposal, but then I left because of faculty position. Princeton, UPenn, Yale, also some guys from Google and Facebook, Amazon, and at the same time we had people from hardware like Intel. Yeah? So this is how the system which they have developed. Everything is written. You can guarantee everything, not only at the software level, but also at hardware level. And you will be surprised at what kind of attacks we have detected with them. So here is our next step. So we really want to, I mean, now every one of you know, right? Even if you take a high school guy, he can program in Python, but is he really doing right thing? Yeah? I don't need programmers anymore. Programming is more of a labor, right? So here is now the paradigm shift. We want to shift software engineering to a software verification paradigm. In the software, we originally had the interface where we got some input, we had some implementation where we process the input, and then we produce the result and give it as an interface. Now, instead of interface, we will have a specification that what rules it should abide, obviously logical rules, which are actually coherent by design. And then in the implementation, we have a proof, mathematical proof, which I showed you a few slides ago. The mathematical proof which guarantees that how do I compute the result. And now you can ask anyone on this planet, machine or human, to make sure that the result I have computed is guaranteed to be true. Yeah? So that's all. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for your talk, and since we are running short of time, maybe we can delay the questions. So you'll be approached by many people by the tea break.
Right, sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
So moving forward to the next talk, we have another keynote speaker, Professor Eckhart Bunching from Chiang Mai University, Thailand. So Professor, please. So he'll be talking about automated detection of diabetes from exhaled human breath using deep hybrid architecture.
Chiniot. I'm a senior member of ICIT, and I have two. One hat is Director of the Center of Excellence in Community Health Informatics. And another hat is Associate Dean of Graduate School, Chiniot University. So today I'm gonna talk about both of my hats. So first of all, first hat is Director of Center of Excellence in Community Health Informatics. My research, this is the largest research I just published in actually Access. It's called Automated Detection of Diabetes from Exhale Human Breath using Deep Hybrid Architecture. As you know, the objective of this of my research is we are going to do some diagnostic system to detecting diabetes from exhale breath using machine learning and deep learning algorithm. So the goal is a prediction. The impression of mine is because I'm a diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So that's my thing that I have to do with non-invasive, so I can exhale to test on my sugar in my blood with non-invasive. So from WHO, World Health Organization, right now we have 500 million diabetic patients worldwide. Around 1.6 million people die each year because of diabetes. And the number of people living with diabetes may reach 780 million by 2045. So by reading literature review, one of the literature talking about the components of the exhale breath. Our exhale breath, we have oxygen 13% to 16%. Nitrogen is about 78% to 39%. And carbon dioxide is 4 to 6%. And others is 2% of any 300 gas, volatile organic compound, or VOC, we have about 300 VOC. So after reading literature review, I have seen many biomarkers talking about the gas that when you exhale it. First is acetone. When you got a diabetes, this acetone will increase relative to blood sugar in your blood. That's one of the literature that I read. Another one is nitric oxide is related to asthma. So one of literature review I propose publication. Another one is ammonia. Ammonia is related to kidney disease. Another one is pentane. So we can indicate it using methane. And cystic fibrosis, we can gauge, we can indicate by hydrogen cyanide. So this is a literature review that I reviewed in my publication. One of the publications that caught my attention is this, published in 2013, talking about breath acetone is a biomarker for diabetes. This literature talking about acetone in normal people and diabetic people. In normal people, we're going to have about 0.9 ppm for acetone and less than that. But the people that have acetone more than 1.7 ppm is a diabetic patient. So my team, including my PhD student, master student, and me, we try to find some domain of diabetes. So we design the architecture of the correlational neural network. It tends to use something new, not only use convolutional neural network. We try to find something new. We call it CORNN, or correlational neural network. The correlational neural network is consists of when the signal getting through our algorithm, the algorithm will recursive itself, try to find correlation between the gas. Now is with the gas that we technically detected, and then we are recursively pulling and try to find the feature from the feature extraction frame. After we got the feature, we move it to the optimal feature, and then using SVM classifier, and then going to the prediction class. This is our simple mathematical equation. The correlation procedure between signal and kernel. The first equation number 1, we're talking about the kernel and the signal that correlated from I equal minus n to n, a of I times I, x plus I. And then we expand it into two-dimensional. Adding more y plus j into the equation. And then the proposed correlation operation, we have one is a kernel, one is a signal. We train the data, try to find the kernel. So you can see that if I assume that x sub n is the signal, is 1, 2, 2, 3, and k sub n is kernel, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first on the top left, it's nothing work here. 2, 1, 3, 2 above is sorry. 2, 1, 3, 2 above is signal data that we got from the sensor, and 1, 3, 2, 4 is a kernel. So we try to move the kernel one step ahead. The kernel here is in the middle side of 4. So when the kernel matching the signal, the first situation we got 2 and 4. 2 from the signal, 4 from the kernel. We multiply 2 and 4, we got 8. The second one in the middle, we got 1, 3, 2, 4, same kernel. But the signal is shifting. When the signal is shifting, we got 2 over 2. 2 from the signal over 2 from the kernel. We multiply 2 by 2, we got 4. 1 above, 1 from signal, 4 from kernel. So we got 3 plus 4 plus 1 is equal 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. We're doing like this, recursively, moving signal over the kernel. Each time we move, we multiply like this. So we try to find the maximum number of the signal and kernel if we got the maximum number, that means at that time, we got the highest correlation between the signal and kernel. So at this, we got, so on the right top, we got 20. 20 to come from 2 plus 3. 2 times 3 plus 1 times 2 plus 3 times 4. So we got 20. So at that situation, is the highest correlation between signal and kernel. So we use that for one stage. You can see this feature extraction, we have iterative 5 times in order to try to find the exact correlation. And each time we reduce the window phase, we reduce the window. So at the stage of 5, we got the highest correlation between the kernel and signal. The sensor we use, one is TGS 1820 sensors. This sensor is measure the acetone from the exhale. The acetone that the sensitivity is 1 to 20 ppm acetone. So this is the circuit for measuring acetone from the exhale using TGE S1820. This is a gas chamber. I cannot show more details about the gas chamber because we are in the patent registration phase. So this is approximately the gas chamber that we use. So you have 3 holes on the back. One hole is for acetone sensor. Another one is barometric pressure sensor, BMP180. Another one is temperature humidity sensor, DHT11. So we got 3 sensors and the back of the gas chamber. So subject that we experiment. We have a participant of 70% that have diabetics, 82% for healthy, and 42, 28 for diabetics, male and female, 44, 38 is male and sugar in the blood is 135, 0.16, 88.02. This is so you know that if we have high sugar, you got diabetics, when you got about more than 120 of sugar in your blood. And this is the kernel dimension, I mean the window of the kernel. We have 5 phases. So each phase we try to find correlation and reduce the window. Yes, this feature extraction here. So each time, each iteration will reduce the window. And then this is the dimension of the window when we reduce. The result, before going further, we try to see the value of the acetone concentration against the voltage that we got. So we find some relationship between acetone concentration and the voltage that we got from the circuit. Going like this, but almost linear. And another analysis before going further, we try to find the R-square value between the voltage and the glucose concentration. So we got R-square close to 1. 0.9877. So, like this, we can go further that acetone sensor can measure something. And before going there, only acetone, how about the humidity, temperature, pressure? Is all these things has some factor or influence against acetone or not? So we try to measure all the pressure, the temperature, the humidity, the voltage. And we see that all of this doesn't have any influence on acetone, just only acetone that we measure. So we collect this data every 1.0 second. And when after we got all the data from diabetics and healthy people, we are going to experiment many models, beginning with SVM, PCA, convolution CNN with a multi-layer perceptron using SVM, so many. And then we have found that the proposed CORNN, or correlation neural network, has high accuracy, 98.72%. And sensitivity is 98% as well, specificity 97%, and F1 score is 0.978%, so very promising for us. And then not only looking for the accuracy, we try to find the big O, the complexity, the time of the processing. So we are measuring the time consuming for each algorithm that we experiment. So the time is about the maximum is 1.121 second for each prediction when you exhale. And the classification time is only 1.4 second. And we have the validation result for the sample. So we divide it into two classes. One class is the patient class, another is a healthy class. And the prediction of correlation neural network with SVM, we have only 3 cases that misclassified. So very accurate. So in order to have the blood to test for the sugar, just exhale it, and you will get early detection of the prediction of diabetes. So it's come to the conclusion that our experiment is a novel sensing module and efficient deep learning neural network, proposed non-invasive automated detection of diabetes, and manage diabetes and to reduce the health issue for using the early detection of this, and strong positive correlation between two results with R-square value is 0.9877. And the statistic analysis suggests that the proposed sensing approach has the potential to be used as a non-invasive technique to detect diabetes. So this research has been published in ICIT on June, 3 months ago. So you can read more details on my publication here. So this is the end of my presentation today. And any questions before I go into another hat? I have two hats today. Any question for this hat? Okay. Another hat is I'm the Associate Dean of Graduate School. This is very appreciate that you invite me to be here in Pakistan first time. Our university, Chiang Mai University, has a close relation with Pakistan student. We have a international student festival each year. Last year, we have a Pakistan student show something, have some exhibition in my university in international festival. That we have about 30 countries students from around the world studying in Chiang Mai University. Pakistan students about 50 students that study in Chiang Mai University. And at that time, all Pakistan students have some exhibition of food and many things that share to other students from around the world at that festival. Right now, Chiang Mai University have 6,840 graduate students. So the highest is 1,453 doctorate degrees since August. And the foreign student, we have about 2,000 foreign students right now. And if I have 3 minutes, I would like to show my university video, let you know Chiang Mai University, what it looks like.
If you are looking for an award-winning university with some of the world's best courses and which has placed third among Thai universities, with more than 200 master's and PhD programs, with professional lecturers available, advisors who teach with state-of-the-art technology, offering the opportunity to live in one of the most welcoming and friendly cities in the world. Then look no further. You're already here. This place is Chiang Mai University. Students can choose from 3 subject groups to study at Chiang Mai University. If you're interested in a variety of subjects and having trouble picking just one as your major, you can choose a multidisciplinary program combining knowledge from 4 disciplines: biotechnology, technology and interdisciplinary management, mental health, sports science. Here, we have specific research centers that support graduate student research. If you're not quite ready to get your degree, you can take short courses through the School of Lifelong Education and transfer the credit to a graduate program in the future. For graduate students, the graduate school at Chiang Mai University takes care of you from admission until you finish your studies. Chiang Mai University also offers many scholarships for students, such as education funds, financial support funds for international academic journal publication, and many more. And that's not all. In addition to the scholarships offered, Chiang Mai University also has a range of facilities available for students. Chiang Mai University Library has thesis and research databases that give students access to research from all over the world. There are workshops for publishing research works in the Scopus database and a variety of study space. For transit around Chiang Mai University, a free shuttle bus service that takes students all around the campus. Moreover, we offer student dormitories and a wide range of campus facilities that make student life on campus more convenient. You will experience exciting Chiang Mai University traditions that have been in place for a long time. In addition to the learning and fun available to you on Chiang Mai University's campus, you will be able to enjoy the second best small city in the world. total cost of living at Chiang Mai University is only $260 per month. All of these experiences and more are waiting for you. We hope you will join us at Chiang Mai University.
Right now we offer 200 fully funded scholarships this year. So for professor, we offer article per charge. When you publish something in a database, Scopus or Web of Science, we have reimbursement for the publication that you publish with the Chiang Mai University professor. So we are try to have international collaboration with another university. So if we have publication together with Chiang Mai University on the article per charge, you get reimbursement from them. So this is, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ekarit, for imparting us with your wisdom. Thank you, honorable guests and keynote speakers, for gracing our event with your presence. Now, it's time to give the certificates to our keynote speakers for this session. For that, I would like to call our worthy director, Dr. Shehzad Sarfaraz, along with the rector of FAST NUCES, Dr. Aftab Ahmed Maroof, to present the certificates to our keynote speakers. Please give a huge round of applause. Dr. Ekarit. The next certificate is for Dr. Taimur Khan from the University of Greenwich, London. Please give him a huge round of applause. He talked about sustainable cybersecurity. Thank you, Director and Rector, FAST NUCES. Dr. Rabia, you may continue the session. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much. We have four presentations, four paper presentations. Each participant will have 20 minutes. So presentation time is 15 minutes. After 12 minutes, I will ring the bell. That means it's a hint that you have to close. And for the last 5 minutes, we'll have questions. So first I'll invite Ahmed Bilal Farouk, and his topic is melanoma classification through deep learning using demoscopic images.
My topic is melanoma classification through deep learning using thermoscopic images. Authors are Ahmed Bilal Farouk, Shehzad Akbar, Rida Arif, Ali Hassan and Sahar Gul. This is a table of contents, abstract, introduction, problem statement, proposed methodology, experimental results, conclusion, future directions and references. Abstract. Melanoma is known to be the type of skin cancer that has been great impact on human beings around the globe. Basically, it is a more dangerous type of skin cancer that causes many deaths. However, it is challenging from benching due to noise and artifacts such as hairs and moles present in the image. Therefore, we need an identity image. Processing image, different artifacts are removed and image smoothing operation is performed. Second phase is segmentation process, due to which background and foreground pixels are correctly identified. After the segmentation, modified AlexNet was used for the classification purposes. Moreover, modified AlexNet is based on 6 convolution layer and 4 fully corrected layer, classified based on melanoma. The proposed approach employed on ICIT 2019 dataset, which contained 4,522 melanoma and 12,778 non-melanoma images. Through experimental analysis, the proposed method attained 98.82 accuracy, 98.50 specificity, 97.45 precision, 96.34 sensitivity. In addition, this method is more optimal than the previous methods, which help dermatologists to identify melanoma early. Introduction. As we see that artificial intelligence is helping in our daily lives, in every department, whether it is healthcare or any department. However, many efforts are being made in medical field, real-time diagnosis and treatment. In the past decade, melanoma is primary disease among all skin cancers. As reported in the latest cancer statistics, 57,180 women victims and women victims are 42,600. According to WHO report, 1,32,000 victims of melanoma occur globally each year. It is mainly occurred in the woman at the age of 40, and the differentiation of melanoma and non-melanoma will be the next slide. What is melanoma? Melanoma is developed in cells known as melanocytes that spreading only when the melanocytes grow out of control. However, it is appeared when the skin is wide open to daylight, such as arms, legs, nose, face, and hands. Non-melanoma is not harmful as compared to melanoma. Nevertheless, it is caused by ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun. There are 3 types of radiation: A, B, and C. Mainly, it is caused by B and C type. Other risk factors include pale skin, old age factors, freckles, and the use of unknown chemicals that we apply to our skin. Existing problem statement. The existing literature comprises of imbalanced dataset, highly computational complex. Moreover, existing approaches feature selection process problem also faces. This is the literature review, and we can see that Ms. Nita has proposed a technique for RCNN and fuzzy C-means clustering to identify melanoma. Methodology was implemented on ICIT 2016 dataset, which contained 1,276 images. Accuracy is 94% and 94% specificity and 94% sensitivity. The main flaw is the model was computationally complex. In the same way, Mr. Way represent proposed melanoma lightweight CNN and UNN algorithms for identification of melanoma. The methodology was implemented on ISPI dataset containing 900 training images and 379 testing images. The feature selection process was the main flaw of this research. Mr. Weisloder's proposed the DCNN algorithm for the classification of melanoma. The ICIT 2016 dataset was utilized for that purpose, and the proposed model achieved 83% accuracy. The main flaw of this research that author tried to improve that main problem with the dataset, and author tried to improve with a DCNN approach. This is the existing literature, and this is the proposed method achieved results: 98.82 accuracy, 98.50 specificity, 97.45 precision, and 96.34 sensitivity. Methodology. Methodology consists of 4 steps: data augmentation on dermoscopic images to reduce class imbalance problem. Basically, the data augmentation has been applied on melanoma class only, not non-melanoma, because non-melanoma images were very complex and large. Pre-processing applied to remove noise and hair from the dermoscopic images. After pre-processing, segmentation was applied using Junite algorithm. UNet algorithm used to capture foreground and background pixels correctly. Moreover, deep learning modified selection has been proposed to classify melanoma and non-melanoma images correctly. This is a methodology diagram. Basically, ICIT 2019 dataset has been input. After that, data augmentation has been applied. Furthermore, pre-processing has been applied by using hair dull razor program. Hair has been removed from the dermoscopic images, and after that, median filter has been applied on the images, dermoscopic images. After that, segmentation and classification has been done through UNet and modified LXNet. Results: to measure the capability of the proposed model, multiple experiments have been carried out. These experiments elaborate how modified LXNet has proposed in real-life situations. Publicly available dataset has been proposed with performance which divides 80% of data for training and 10% for testing and 10% for validation. The accuracy achieved by the proposed method is 98.82%, precision of 97.45%, specificity of 98.50%, and sensitivity of 96.34%. This is a bar diagram which shows the results of the proposed method. This is a comparative analysis. We can see that multiple parameters have been taken: accuracy, precision, sensitivity, specificity, and proposed method has achieved far greater results than the previous method. Conclusion: melanoma, we know that melanoma is a skin condition that causes an automatic detection and classification method. In this research, hair removal images efficiently performed and a computational efficiently methodology has been performed since it uses an advanced and UNet algorithm for the segmentation of images. Pre-processing and segmentation performed to enhance the model performance. But however, by comparing statistical methods with the proposed study shows better performance that helps in the real-time treatment and detecting patient melanoma early. Future direction. In future direction, more features will be detected using multiple techniques, more data set will be utilized, and special filtering technique will be used for the pre-processing purposes. Sorry. These are the references. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. You finished quite early. That's fine.
Any questions?
Yeah. If we have questions. Right. So I think just one question. So what I understood is you modified the LXNet.
Yes.
What was your modification actually?
So, ma'am, basically I have added one convolutional layer and one fully connected layer in the proposed method. Basically, the previous method was consist of total 8 layers. I have worked on total 10 layers. This is the main novelty. And basically, the previous method didn't use all the parameters like sensitivity, specificity in the comparative analysis. I have used all the parameters. This is also novelty. Okay. Yes. Sir, basically, overfitting is a problem that occurs in mostly models. No, sir, I have not accounted for this issue. Basically, my main motive was a class imbalance problem, computation complex, and the feature selection process. Basically, I have covered all these problems that you mentioned. No, I have used new feature. No, sir. Basically, features are same. The extraction process was very fast and efficient than the previous method. Features are always same because disease is same. Feature set was same, but the results are produced very fast and efficient than the previous one. Yes. Thank you so much.
So we have our next presenter, Chiniot-Faisalabad. she'll be talking about discovering genetic subtype of glioblastoma from MRI scans using sparse autoreporters. So,
Assalamualaikum. Okay, so my topic is related with discovering genetic subtype of glioblastoma from MRI scans using sparse autoreporter. So, okay, let's start. अच्छा, so ये मेरा presentation background है, मैं इसको introduction से start करती हूँ. So glioblastoma is basically a highly aggressive brain cancer. ये एक ऐसा brain tumor है जो कि बहुत most common type है और malignant होता है, जिसमें जो है ये बहुत तेजी से फैलता है. So इसीलिए हम इसको एक aggressive brain tumor कहेंगे. Secondly, ब्लास्टोमा के अंदर हम जिस चीज़ को प्रेडिक्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो ये एक जेनेटिक सबटाइप है जो कि एसोसिएटेड होती है ग्लायोब्लास्टोमा से. हम उसके थ्रू ये फाइंड आउट करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि क्या जो ट्रीटमेंट हम कर रहे हैं वो इफेक्टिव है या नहीं है. सो उसकी इफेक्टिवनेस फाइंड आउट करने के लिए वी हैव टू वेज. लाइक एक तो हमारे पास इन्वेसिव प्रोसीजर्स हैं जो कि सर्जिकल बायोप्सीज होती हैं जो कि कॉस्टली भी है, टाइम कंज्यूमिंग भी होती है और हमारे पास रिजल्ट्स फिर भी उतने ठीक नहीं आते जिसके लिए आपको बार बार बायोप्सी करनी पड़ती है. सो हमारे पास हम एक नॉन इन्वेसिव तरीके की तरफ जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो कि हम MRI के थ्रू और मशीन लर्निंग के थ्रू
sorry to interrupt you.
करेंगे. सो बेसिकली जो
Sumaya, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it's an international conference, so we have representatives and audience from the international community as well. So I would appreciate if you can speak in English language.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So since it's an international conference, we do have people from abroad as well. So
Okay.
I would appreciate if you can communicate in English language.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so basically, so this is related with like non-invasive procedures. So our proposed solution is related with the two phases. One is phase 1 and second is phase 2. So we are trying to find the non-invasive procedure which will be done through MRI images and machine learning. Our framework is divided into two phases. In first phase, which is image synthesis, and in second phase, we are using transfer learning and sparse autoencoder to MGMT status classification. And this MGMT is basically a genetic subtype which is resided in a glioblastoma. So we are trying to predict that MGMT through MRI images. Our background is basically that glioblastoma is a grade 4 brain tumor, and it has a rapid growth. So it has a rapid growth, so it has a poor prognosis. I mean, if a patient is diagnosed with a stage 4 brain tumor, then he or she is left with like 14 months for treatment. So for that time, whatever chemotherapy utilized, it constantly damages the DNA. So we need some kind of a mechanism to understand that if the chemotherapeutic drug is working or not. So MGMT, the problem with MGMT is that it is heterogeneous. It has different histology, shape and outlook. So the characterization is quite difficult for that. According to like WHO, up till now, we have associated MRI images with histopathological images. But now they are considering that we should also predict molecular activities through MRI images as well. We should like correlate both. So MGMT status is basically crucial for chemotherapy effectiveness, as I have told you before that if we want to know the effectiveness of a therapeutic drug, we have to perform a biopsy, which takes time, which is costly, and that's why we are looking towards a non-invasive procedure. And for that purpose, we will be using MRI images, which is a non-invasive alternative. So the problem is related with that MGMT signature in MRI images is heterogeneous in appearance. We cannot characterize it we need some kind of a method. We need like a different kind of framework to know that how we can do this, because this is a problem for which we need actual biopsies. We need different kind of expertise or like handcrafted features to know that. But we are trying to work with the deep learning techniques so that we can know the inside features without any handcrafted features by just using a automatic feature learning. So this is a literature review, the work previously done with this problem. Actually, specifically, the first two studies are related with that how they have how the first in 2011 they correlate the genetic expression with the images just to predict some kind of a genetic profile. They just used some 3D visualizers and segmentation techniques to correlate and predict any genetic profile. Then in second, they have used some clinical variables, for example, edema and necrosis, to associate with MRI images to predict and pseudo-progression means that it is not progressing, but there are some kind of inflammation around glioblastoma which is visible in MRI machine. So it means like it shows like the glioblastoma is still not treated, it's progressing. So basically I have included this study because they have associated some clinical variables with the images to predict the progression and a pseudo-progression. The third study is predicting specifically MGMT status, but they are using some radiomic features, which are, you can say, some handcrafted features, and which are associated with the MRI images. They have first extracted those radiomic features and then associated with those MRI images to predict it, to predict the MGMT methylation status. And those radiomic features were, I guess, from 2,000 to 3,000 handcrafted features, and then they use ML algorithms to predict that. The fourth study is basically using deep learning technique, but here they are using only one modality, which is T2 weighted, and their patients are around 60 patients, and they have used a deep learning technique, 3D dense, to predict the MGMT status. The third paper also have used a segmentation method. They first segmented the MRI, the glioblastoma MRI where the tumor was. They first segmented it and then they predicted the MGMT status through that segmented label. But they have only used two modalities. One is T1W and player. The last study, which was in 2020, they have used multitask convolution neural network and recurrent neural network, which was segmenting and classifying the MGMT status. So these three papers are using different kind of deep learning techniques to predict the MGMT status with different number of patients with different kind of modalities. Our methodology, our work consists of RSNA, which is the largest data set available right now for genetic profile to associate the glioblastoma and its genetic profile. The only one genetic profile is utilizing right now, it's MGMT, which we are trying to correlate with the MRI machines. So we have 60 patients and almost 70,000 of slices in our data set. 7,000 slices in our data set. Our methodology is divided into two phases. The first phase is synthetic generation. Basically, first phase we are using, we first taken our data set and we have performed some slice selection. In slice selection, we applied some methods like find SNR and entropy to discard some images which have information. So we have discarded some images from that data set. After that, we have performed reprocessing to just enhance the contrast a bit, to resize the images so that all the images should be in a same size. After that, the pre-processed data set is passed to the autoencoder. Autoencoder, we have applied different kind of hyperparameter tuning, but the ideal purpose, yes.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I think you forgot to change your slides and we were not following you exactly.
I'm sorry, what?
We were not following your slides. So you were just on the introduction slide and you were talking about your methodology. So please be sure that you're changing your slides as you're talking, right?
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. Can you please be allowed?
Okay. Am I clear now? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, okay. I guess they are visible.
Okay.
Can you, yeah. Yes, but I'm talking about methodology.
Yeah, so previously you were on introduction side. So please, the audience is not following your talk, right? Thank you.
Okay. It's not. Okay. So basically, it's fine now, right? So basically, my methodology, as I said before, that consists of 2 phases. In first phase, I am performing an image synthesis. Image synthesis is basically performed through autoencoder, where I have pre-processed all the images before executing on autoencoder. My autoencoder, after trying a lot of hyperparameter tuning, my autoencoder consists of 5 layers of encoder and 5 layers of decoder with the activation function of leaky rainbow. It works better with this hyperparameters. So after that, applying autoencoder, this is the, if you can see, the synthetic image is generated, and this is the synthetic image which is generated after phase 1, after applying the autoencoder. In phase 2, okay. In phase 2, I am trying to predict the MGMT status, where my enhanced and pre-processed slice is passed through a sparse autoencoder. But here I have also transferred some weights from image synthesis part. In image synthesis, I have learned, because if you can see the results, that the image is quite clear in the image synthesis process. So all the learned features were transferred in form of trained weights to the other network. This is now my sparse autoencoder, where all the weights were transferred, and then I have applied a sparsity on those layers to regularize as a regularizer. So basically, the sparsity term mutes some nodes. Basically, it mutes some nodes. And why it muted those nodes? Because the weight of those nodes were quite low. So we are not using a lot of nodes to predict we can say to burden the network. We are just applying a sparsity to turn off some nodes based on a KL divergence, and then we when after muting some nodes, we are left with the most exact features, or you can say most important features, which are highly correlated with MGMT status, and then those features are used to classify the MGMT status. So this sparse autoencoder is I'm sorry, I just like to repeat again. This sparse autoencoder is basically is based on a KL divergence. KL divergence, we used KL divergence to calculate the distance between 2 probability distributions. So one probability distribution is like we want the value of node to be like 0.5 or 0.05, and another probability distribution is based on the average activation value of a hidden unit. So we are trying to like maintain that these 2 activation values, that one is a sparsity target and other is a average activation value. These 2 values should be the same. If these 2 two values are same, then the node, then that particular node will be muted. So after calculating the KL divergence, we have used that KL divergence value is added into the cost function, and then this whole cost function actually minimizes your weights of every node, and that's how all the sparsity is applied. Where all the sparsity, wherever it is applied, the node will be muted, and we will be left with only a few set of nodes which will be highly correlated with our MGMT, and then that will be used for the prediction. So this is some of the steps which I have discussed before, that we are using input MRI slices. We have like 4 type of modalities, and how the slice selection is performed. We have used low entropy and SNR images with low entropy and SNR were discarded, and then the pre-processing applied, where we have just reduced the size to the 256 by 256. Sorry, what? Okay, so this is our research. In phase 1, you can see we have used 3 Myers structure similarity index, PSNR and RMC. For flare modality, structure similarity index basically helps to understand that how 2 images are structurally close. So these 3 Myers are, for flare, these 3 Myers are giving a higher value. And but for average, it is higher. It means that our synthetic generated image is, our reconstructed image, our synthetic generated image is closely related with the original image. In second, our MPMP status accuracy is 0.96 for flare, and in precision recall are almost all the same, because our data set was almost balanced. And because due to the features learned in image synthesis were transferred to the second phase, that's why it has better classification results. Thank you. So this is the conclusion, that our framework was good in image synthesis. It has provided a good classification accuracy for MG-MT status. Thank you.
So thank you so much. If the audience has if anyone has a quick question. All right, Springer, thank you so much for your honest presence. See you.
Thank you.
So next we have another talk by Mahnur Iftikhar. So the title of the paper is Optimizing Airline Networks, a Comparative Analysis of Graph-Based Techniques.
My name is Mahnur Iftikhar. I am a graduate student at Ghulam Isa Khan Institute of Engineering Sciences and Technology. Today I am here to present my paper, Optimizing Airline Networks, a Comparative Analysis of Graph-Based Techniques. This is the outline of the presentation that starts with an introduction, literature review, research gap, and it moves until we read the references. Let's start with the introduction. As in today's global interconnected landscape, the airline network serves as a strong foundation for our transportation system, and also helps in connecting people and the goods across different continents. So optimization of these airline networks is a necessity, as it makes the travel affordable. It also helps in promoting environmental sustainability and maximizing aircraft utilization. The different graph-based techniques that are used and offers good practical solution for the optimization of these airline networks. Literature review. Major focus of our literature review was on the studies that uses the graph-based techniques, in which we can see that different authors use different graph-based approaches like Digital algorithm, A-star, and some other algorithms for the optimization of these networks and finding the prominent routes. Research gap. After doing the literature survey, it was revealed that there is a huge gap in the comparative analysis of these algorithms, and and also finding the practical application of these specific graph-based techniques innovation system. Contribution. So our research contributes in using different graph-based techniques that enhances the aviation optimization and improves in the accuracy and also boosted the airline efficiency. Let's move towards the methodology. In the implementation of our proposed approach, we use a dataset from Kaggle, that is a airline network optimization dataset that consists of multiple attributes like departure time, arrival time, and so on. We use 4 different graph-based algorithms that are A-star algorithm, Dijkstra algorithm, bidirectional search algorithm, and Bellman-Ford. After using these, we done a comparative analysis of these. This is the overall flow of our proposed methodology, in which take the dataset from Kaggle, and after doing some pre-processing of the dataset, we pass it to the graph-based techniques, and then we got the output in terms of execution time, shortest path, and complexity, and made a comparison on the basis of these. Results and discussion. After obtaining the outputs, we got the execution time, path length, and shortest path, which can be seen that the shortest path of Dijkstra, Bellman-Ford, and bidirectional search is approximately same, and they also have the same path length. But when we see A-star algorithm, it has a slight change in its shortest path, and but its path length is also less than as compared to other algorithms. When we consider the execution time, then we see that bidirectional search has least execution time as compared to all others, and A-star algorithm has the highest execution time. This shows that there is a trade-off between the execution time and the path length. This is a bar chart that shows the execution time, in which it is seen that A-star algorithm has the highest execution time, while in terms of least execution time, we have the bidirectional search. We also compare the complexities of these algorithms, as it is important for the evaluation and seeing the practical applicability of these algorithms. So we see that the space complexity of all these algorithms is same, that is big O of P, while in terms of time complexity, the bidirectional search has less complex as compared to other algorithms like A-star and Dijkstra. Conclusion. After that our analysis concluded, there should be our analysis reveals that there is a trade-off between the complexity, execution time, and the path length. So there should be a balance between these, as we have seen that Dijkstra, Bellman-Ford, and bidirectional search algorithms gives us less execution time, but they take more high paths, while A-star algorithm take more execution time and gives us the shortest path. So there should be a delicate balance while using these algorithms in the aviation industry. These are the references. Thank you. Any question?
So thank you, but you finished the fastest among all the presenters so far. So do we have questions from the audience? Right, so I may ask you a couple of questions. So which search techniques have you used in the bidirectional search?
I just use different I just use its function specific, not specific.
Okay. So, and heuristic function that you've used in A-star algorithm?
Yes.
What was heuristic function?
It gives us the most optimal path, and it helps in finding the least that is more towards a shortest form.
Okay, thank you. So we have a last presentation for today's evening. I think it's Munir Reza Naqvi. And the talk is title is a novel approach for building domain-specific chatbots by exploring sentence transformers-based encoding.
Assalamualaikum all. Starting with the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. My name is Munir Reza Naqvi. I am from Namal University, a final year student, along with my co-authors. It's my pleasure here to present my work against such a nice and diverse audience. My work is a novel approach for building domain-specific chatbots by exploring sentence transformer-based encoding. So this is the agenda for today's presentation. We'll cover the following sections in today's presentation. So, as with the recent advancement in the domain of computer science, humans want machines to interact with them. So one way to interact with machines is that the machines can understand what the humans are trying to say. So the domain that covers the following part is natural language processing. This is the introductory stuff that we will be covering before moving towards the actual problem statement. Then we want the machines to interact with us and to reply us in the more natural way that the two humans can do this can do the conversation. So we want the human conversation to simulate using machines. So this domain, this subdomain of NLP comes with conversational AI that specifically deals with the conversation between humans and the machines. So conversational AI deals with the capabilities that how can the machine understand the human language, because the human language is a complex structure, contains complex structures, rules and patterns, and most importantly the context. So the practical application that the conversational AI deals with is the chatbots. So starting from the history, we have multiple types of chatbots available in the market. Some of them are listed here. These are rule-based chatbots. Rule-based chatbots are simply like CNT models that have some predefined rules or structures. They give the output based on some predefined rules. And these outputs are from some existing data. Then we have conversational AI chatbots, the advanced types of chatbots. These are also known as AI-powered chatbots. They generate their own responses based on the user queries, and they also have some type of context-aware. These chatbots are also context-aware. Then we have the most advanced type of chatbots that we have in the market, like ChatGPT or Bard. These lies in the domain of contextual chatbots. These chatbots are very well aware of our context, and we can say that these chatbots can simulate human conversation up till now. So this is nothing but market value of chatbots. From the recent years, we have collected some of the data. This is the data shown here is from 2014 to 2023, and we can see a rapid growth from recent years in the growth of in the domain of chatbots. Then we have this revenue is generated through multiple practical applications of chatbots in various domains like customer care services, finance, healthcare, education, and so on. So the background deals with how can one develop his or her own chatbot. So there are multiple methods that we can use to develop our own chatbots. Some of them are some of them are old techniques and some of them are new. They deals with First of all, we have the rule-based methods I have discussed previously. These are contains decision trees like decision tree model. Decision tree models like we have the predefined rules, and these generate responses according to that predefined rules against each user query. Then we have the pattern matching techniques. The pattern matching algorithms basically uses some kind of pattern, finds some kind of pattern in the user query, and matches this pattern with the existing data to generate the most closest match, and then give the response to the user. Then we have the similarity-based modeling. Similarity-based modeling is also a technique to create our own chatbots. Similarity-based modeling is done through different similarity measures, like cosine similarity. We can find a similarity between the user query and the existing data we have in the database to respond to the user queries. Next, we have some advanced techniques to build the chatbots, like machine learning and NLP techniques, which involves the intent recognition, named entity recognition, sentiment analysis. These all techniques can be merged to enhance the performance of a chatbot to simulate the conversation between machine and the human. Then we have the hybrid approach. Hybrid approach basically combines both old and new techniques to enhance the performance of the chatbots for a more natural conversation. Then what we are doing doing in the research paper is we basically want to our interest is to how can we enable the machine to understand our language and respond to us, and how can this be done. So this was our major goal. So understanding language is a complex task. As I have discussed earlier, the language contains complex rules, structures, patterns, and context also. So this was our research objective. These are some of the literature review that we have been using throughout the write-up of our paper. This includes this is the historical work that has helped us a lot. These are also some of the previous techniques that are used for building domain-specific chatbots. Like you can see, some of them are information retrieval, and some of them are fact similarity based. We have many of us have used fact similarity based chatbots that quickly respond to the user queries against like the customer care services. So let's move on to our methodology, what we have done. So in on NLP problems, we have a basic pre-processing steps that we must have been gone through to move further. These are tokenization. Tokenization is simply to divide our sentences into different tokens. A token can be of any unit, like a word unit or a phrase unit, depending upon our analysis. So we are using the token as a unit of word. Then we have stop words removal. We all are mostly familiar with the stop words removal. Stop words are the words that are that doesn't contribute much to the meaning or the context of the sentence or of the paragraph or of the language, let's say. So lemmatization. Lemmatization basically reduces the word to its dictionary word. So these are the basic pre-processing steps that we have gone through. Then we have TF-IDF vectorization. This is the method we have used. This is the first methodology that we have used. So this is the framework. We can see that we have some data. This data is of textual data, and the textual data is must go through some of the pre-processing steps that we have discussed earlier. Then after the pre-processing, we have the data ready to feed into the model. Now the model accepts the preprocessed text, and now there comes the challenge to convert this text into some kind of numbers, because a machine cannot understand the text directly. So this vector of number is basically generated using TF-IDF vectorization. It's a complete method that is used to generate a vector of numbers that captures the meanings and that captures the meaning and along with the context of the sentence in numbers. So then after finding the vectors, we have used a similarity method. We have used the similarity method to find which response is relevant to the user query to output to continue the flow of conversation. The next method we have used is the sentence transformer, which is basically embeddings. These embeddings is basically another type of encoding layer that encodes the that encodes the language or the syntax or the words into numbers. These numbers also captures the semantic meanings and the context of the sentence passed to the model, and then again we used the same cosine similarity measure to find the similarity between the user query and the data we already have that is being trained on the model. Then after finding the similarity, what we do is we return or we output the sentence that is the most similar that is the most relevant against the user query and displays it to the user. So these are the two models we have used in our. So this is a quick review of how the answer retrieval layer works. We have a user query, we have a measure of cosine similarity, and before this cosine similarity we have multiple vectors, either from a TF-IDF vectorizer or from the sentence transformer embedding model. Then we pass these vectors into the cosine similarity and we retrieve the highest similarity sentence from the data. And what we found is this is the dataset we used. The dataset is publicly available in Kaggle. The dataset, these are following characteristics of the data. It consists of 7 to 5 pairs of questions and answers. Average length of a question is 6.3 words, and the following average length of answer is 6.5 words. So how can we evaluate the chatbot? So what in our point of view, a chatbot can only be evaluated by a human. How can we evaluate a ChatGPT? We all mostly use ChatGPT. How can we evaluate? A chatbot can only be evaluated up till now. Maybe there are some advanced method that can, or there is a stat that can precisely identify the accuracies or all these evaluation measures. But how can we evaluate the chatbot? A chatbot can only be evaluated by taking a conversation from the chatbot, like ChatGPT. So, but still there are some measures that can be used, that a statistical measure that can be used to evaluate the performance. Some of them are accuracy, recall, precision, F1 score, traditional machine learning evaluation measures, but the definitions are different from the traditional machine learning evaluation measures here. As you can see, the accuracy is correctly retrieved responses divided by the total retrieved responses, and the recall is relevant responses retrieved divided by the total responses retrieved, and so on, the precision and the F1 score here. So what we found is we compared these two models, and we found, as I already mentioned, that these are just stats. And if we look into more, if we look with more if we look with more attention, that we can find that the sentence transformer model or the embedding model can outperform the traditional model, which is in all evaluation measures. But there is just a slight difference between these numbers. So how can we say that one model is better than another? Actually, what we've done is we performed multiple conversations with our chatbot that we have developed on our own. And what we found that the model which we trained using the sentence transformer model is more natural in its conversation than the TF-IDF model. So our conclusion is also the same. We can also plot these numbers. Our conclusion is also saying that the language model we've used is the embeddings model, sentence transformer model, is outperformed the TF-IDF model, not in the numbers, in the conversation that we have done with our chatbots. Thank you. I'm open to the questions. I would love to hear. Thank you for your question. As I've already said that these are the traditional methods to build chatbots, like similarity-based or rule-based or some other these. So we cannot say that all these which one is the better, but our studies shows that if we are using some of the language model which is being trained on billions or millions or trillions of parameters, then it can help us to generate more relevant and accurate responses according to the user query.
So, do we have any other question? Alright, so thank you so much. So with this presentation, we close the session for today. I wish you have a very good night. Maybe we will have some other follow-up segment. Yeah, okay. He'll inform you. Thank you.
Alright, so that's the end of the day, but before that, I would like to call Dr. Umar Aftab, the ICIT co-head, on stage. Please give him a huge hand to present the certificate to the session chair, Dr. Rabia Maqsood. Please come forward and receive your certificate. This brings us end to the session. I want to thank all the participants. Thank you so much. Peace out.